Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. It feels so good to have you here again, ready to dive into a story that has everyone whispering, wondering, and replaying every second. Today we're stepping into a world where romance and elegance meet in the glow of studio lights, and where a single announcement can turn an ordinary day into a full-on moment. If you read the title and clicked as fast as your heart started racing, then you're in the perfect place. Because we're unpacking every detail of Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu's epic announcement. Yes, that word is intentional, the one that left fans breathless and the industry buzzing. Before we plunge into the irresistible stuff, a little reminder, your support means everything to us. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our deep dives and hot takes. Settle in, pour a drink, grab that popcorn, and let's take this ride together. The Turkish entertainment scene has always been a magnet for artistry and charisma, but when two forces like Barış and Elçin decide to join for a single, focused project, the atmosphere changes. Sparks fly, expectations rise, and you can practically feel the fandom holding its breath. We're not talking about them crossing paths on a random set or sharing a red carpet by coincidence. We're talking about a collaboration that was built to be seen, discussed, and remembered. A premium advertisement designed like a cinematic event. The moment the announcement dropped, the questions started rolling in. Which brand dared to bring them together? What is the story they're telling? And how did they transform a commercial into a cultural moment? Let's begin with the production itself, because that's the first thing that hits you. This isn't a quick cut of pretty faces and product shots. It plays like a short film with intent and mood. The sets feel lived in yet aspirational, the lighting shifts from cool twilight to warm sunrise with purpose, the camera worships textures, fabric, skin, glass, chrome, and it does so with a patience that feels confident. The money is on screen, sure, but so is the taste. You can tell this was crafted to do more than sell, it was built to tell a condensed story that lands in your chest. And then, the heart of the piece, Barış and Elçin. They don't just smile and glance and walk away. They engage in a kind of wordless dialogue that recalls everything their fans adore about them. He carries that steady gaze that seems to read the room and hold it still. She embodies that luminous poise, a presence that can soften or sharpen with a slight tilt of her head. In a series of beats, a pause before a door opens, a quiet nod across a crowded space, the hint of a grin when a plan clicks, they create intensity without speaking. It's the same quality that once made viewers imagine them in sweeping romances and adventures, now repurposed into a precise, glittering minute of advertising. If we zoom into the dynamic, you'll see how deliberately it's crafted. Both are seasoned actors who can deliver emotion with restraint, and that's exactly what happens here. There's elegance, a little mystery, and that playful undercurrent that makes you lean closer. Whether the product at the center is luxury, travel, scent, or something else entirely, the narrative insists that the real luxury is the connection between them. The brand becomes a passport, the story is the destination. You feel as though you've stumbled into a scene from a high-end film, invited to witness the moment two protagonists realize they're moving as one. Notice the details, they matter. The music never shouts, it glides. Strings swell not to overwhelm but to underline their glances. The color palette shifts through champagne gold, midnight blue, and those burnished amber tones that flatter skin and memory. A ribbon of smoke, a slow-closing elevator, a city reflected in a curved surface, each element gives the illusion that we're watching real-time unfold while knowing every frame was planned to the millimeter. It's the kind of direction that respects the audience's intelligence, trusting us to fill in the gaps between looks and gestures. Now, let's talk strategy. The success here isn't accidental. It plays directly into the expectations of people who have followed Barış and Elçin for years, who have memorized their contrasts and their synchronicities, who have longed to see that old alchemy return in something fresh and polished. By framing the collaboration as epic, the brand turned anticipation into electricity. It wasn't just a campaign anymore, it became a countdown, a reveal, and then a wave of reactions. Two beloved stars. One lush production. A story trimmed to its essence and allowed to breathe. And breathe it did, all over social media. The minute it dropped, timelines transformed. Clips looped. Screenshots multiplied. Fans argued over micro-expressions, invented theories about what came before and after the scenes we saw, and even mocked up alternate edits. Everyone wanted to know if this was a one-off or the first hint of more to come. Was there a longer director's cut? Would they front another project together? What exactly were we being seduced into buying, and did it even matter? The virality wasn't just about fame, it was about a well-built tease that delivered enough to satisfy and withheld enough to keep the conversation alive. We can't ignore the script, even if the dialogue is minimal. The writing is in the rhythm, a beginning that opens a door, a middle that raises the stakes, an ending that leaves a shimmer in the air. It leans on timeless emotions, desire, trust, a taste for the exquisite, and integrates them with the product so that the product feels like a natural artifact within their story. Nothing is forced. You don't feel slapped by branding. You feel guided, seduced even, toward an association between the essence of what's being sold and the essence of what they embody together. Short-form storytelling is difficult. Anyone can splash a logo at the end of a gorgeous shot. Very few can make you believe a relationship exists within 60 seconds. Here, that belief emerges in a handful of movements. The way his shoulder relaxes when she nods as if to say we're on the same page. The way she steps forward half a beat before he does, suggesting mutual initiative rather than a scripted chase. The balancing act is exact, they're equals, co-conspirators, neither overshadowing the other, both amplifying the glow. From the brand's perspective, this is a masterstroke. Partnering with two figures who carry goodwill, credibility, and genuine star power isn't just about visibility, it's about inheriting a narrative. With Barış and Elçin, the brand borrows a history, the audience's nostalgia, the couple's artistry, the trust built over years of consistent work, and uses it to thread meaning into an object or experience. That kind of emotional grafting is what turns viewers into ambassadors and products into totems. And yes, when it's executed at this level, the return isn't just measured in clicks and sales, but in how insistently the imagery lingers. Because linger it does. If you strip away the sheen, what remains is feeling. The ad gives you a sense memory, a street warmed by afternoon sun, a window fogged by laughter, the quiet certainty of a hand finding another in a crowded room. You remember the music's hush, the camera's patience, the balance between restraint and invitation. You remember how good they look together, yes, but more importantly, how right the world inside that ad feels when they share it. That's the power of great production serving great stars. It's also the power of an audience that wants to believe. And believe me, this one landed exactly where it aimed. Fans are now wondering aloud about the next step. Could this be the pilot flame for a larger project? Are we looking at early threads of a limited series, a feature, a second wave of ads that expand the story? Even if the answer is no, the question alone is a victory. It means the ad crossed the line from content into culture, and from a single drop into a tide. Zooming back to craft, a few choices stand out. The wardrobe tells a story without shouting. His tailored minimalism, subtle textures, and clean lines speak to steadiness. Her refined silhouettes and luminous colors play into sophistication with a light rebellious edge. The blocking places them in mirrors and windows just enough to suggest doubling and reflection, but avoids cliché. The edit breathes, letting tension build and release in little pulses so that when the logo finally appears, it feels like punctuation rather than interruption. And of course, there's the chemistry, that near-mythic element fans swear by. It's not loud or theatrical here, it's lived in and assured. There's a sweetness that doesn't stray into saccharine, a heat that doesn't tip into spectacle. You can imagine them swapping a private joke between takes and then floating back into character without a ripple. That ease is what sells the fantasy while keeping it grounded. So, is it any wonder the reaction has been volcanic? Comment sections filled with all-caps declarations, soft focus edits, and thoughtful breakdowns. Critics noted the sophistication, fans claimed it as a reunion they'd been waiting for. Even casual viewers, people who might not be plugged into Turkish entertainment, paused and took notice. That's the magic trick. A local industry flexing its global muscles simply by doing the fundamentals brilliantly. In the end, this isn't just an ad, It's an event calibrated to remind us why star power matters when it's paired with intention. Visually, it stuns. Emotionally, it resonates. Strategically, it converts. And for Barış and Elçin, it's another chapter in a story that refuses to fade. Their presence animates the narrative, their grace gives the brand a heartbeat. It's a love letter to craft and a wink to the fans who've carried them this far. We've traced the production's shine, the on-screen connection, the scripting, the ripple effect, and the brand's win. Now I want to hear from you. What moment took your breath away? Was it that first glance across the room, that synchronized step, that closing beat that plays like a promise? Do you think this is a one-off jewel or the start of something larger? Drop your thoughts below and let's get into it. I read everything, and I love seeing how you interpret the clues. If this breakdown lit you up, don't forget to like the video, it really keeps this channel going strong. Share it with every Barış and Elçin admirer in your circle, because conversations like this are more fun when everyone brings their favorite frame. And if you're new here, join the family by subscribing and hitting that bell so you'll always be first to know when Secrets Behind the Stars has a fresh deep dive ready for you. Thank you for hanging out with me today, for savoring the craft and the chemistry, and for celebrating the kind of collaboration that reminds us why we fell in love with this industry in the first place. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your heart curious, and your popcorn ready, because when stars like these move, the whole sky shifts, and we'll be right here to tell you how and why.